Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. First and foremost, thank you so much for 2 million subscribers. It means a lot to me and my family. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I would continue to work really hard in order to deliver value to all of you. So in today's video, I'm going to speak about that which stocks you could consider in order to do SIP. क्योंकि अभी problem ये चल रही है कि market has made a very strong support. For example, the support here is, this is the first critical support that is there. So अगर market गिर गया तो maybe this will be like a 4-5% fall, right? So this is the first level of support. So you might think that okay, let me wait for the market to fall, then only I will invest. But कोई भरोसा नहीं है कि यार market कितना ऊपर बढ़ता जाए and then it will go up and probably it will fall later, who knows, right? So you just can't keep sitting on the sidelines waiting for the market to fall. The related point here is that if you feel, you know what, bulk buy कर लेता हूँ, तो bulk buy if you are doing right now, and let me just quickly clear it out, then you will be bulk buying the market at almost 22,500, which is near its all-time high. So अगर ऐसा हुआ कि कुछ sharp correction आया in the market, then the fall could be a lot. So how much of a fall this is? So this is roughly a 10% fall, right? So then you might panic a little bit. So therefore, a natural question comes that should I be SIPing in the market? Now, what is the meaning of SIP? SIP का मतलब होता है कि मान के चलो that you are getting 1 lakh rupee a salary and you are investing, let's say 25,000 rupees a month. So that 25,000 rupee monthly amount, because you are investing at a particular interval, that interval based investing is called as SIP or systematic investment plan. कि हर महीने कुछ भी हो, market goes up, I will invest, market goes down, I will invest, market goes sideways, I will invest. So what specific stocks you can pick in order to SIP, and more importantly, why am I talking about these stocks? I will help you understand the entire logic. The video will be a little bit fast paced because I have to cover a lot of stocks. So I will try to do that really fast, and maybe if the response is really good, then I will make part 2 of the video. So on that note, do consider liking and supporting this video so that it reaches out to more investors. Now, in addition to learning about finance and stock markets through my videos, I would encourage all of you to learn about new areas and industries. For example, these days I'm reading this book called as Genius Makers. It depicts the entire history of AI. AI has a great use case. It is applicable cross industry, be it content creation, be it business development, whatever you choose, AI is going to hit. So on that note, if you're looking to learn about artificial intelligence, I would request all of you to consider joining Growth School's workshop. It is usually a paid workshop, but for the first 1,000 students who sign up using my link, it will be done absolutely free of cost. For people signing up, they will also get 250 plus AI prompts and a list of most epic AI tools of 2024 as a bonus, absolutely free of cost.
Over 1 million professionals across the globe have taken this workshop. They come from fields like data and tech professionals, business, marketing, freelancers, solopreneurs who use it every day to do data analysis, market research, use Excel, and 10 plus hours of time every week.
So definitely go and check out the links in the description comment box. So with that said, let's move over to the main video. So the first critical point that you need to understand is the SIP framework. कि आप क्या type की कंपनियां pick करोगे in order to do SIP in it. Please understand that many people think that, you know what, SIPing means कि buy and forget type of stocks आप खरीद लो. For example, HDFC Bank is a buy and forget type of a stock. उसमें आप SIP करते रहो. Maybe not. I would take a more refined approach, and for this I will help you understand 3 critical points. So if a particular stock that you're considering doing your SIP in, it should meet all of these 3 criteria. और भी क्राइटेरियाज हैं, बट एटलीस्ट इतना तो आपको समझ में आना चाहिए. सो द फर्स्ट की थिंग इज दैट विच एवर इंडस्ट्री यू आर पिकिंग, its growth rate should be higher than the economy's growth rate. For example, India's economy roughly grows at 7.5% as per the stated GDP. So whichever industry you are picking, that should have a higher growth rate than 7.5%. क्योंकि on an average, जैसे मान के चलो कि अब GDP growth rate is 7.5%, what would be the Nifty growth rate? Well, it would be somewhere around 12%. अब आप बोलोगे कि यार ये extra 4.5% कहाँ से आ गया? तो that is inflation in the economy. So there is a very strong correlation between the GDP of a country and Nifty 50 returns, which represents the entire sentiments of the markets in India. So I hope that this point is clear कि if you simply go and pick industries, for example, banking industry is a higher growth industry than GDP. Similarly, if you pick like sugar industry, उसका growth rate कम है GDP से. So if you are doing SIP, then the first critical criteria is कि ऐसी industry पकड़ो जिसका growth rate ज़्यादा है. Second key point is that within that industry you need to pick companies which can protect its margin. Now margin protection का मतलब क्या होता है कि मान के चलो कि 100 rupees is the price of a product of a particular company and it is selling it at 80 rupees. So what is the margin? The margin is 20 rupees. So that is the profit margin of the company. So the company should be able to ideally protect its profit margins, or in the future it should likely be able to grow it. तो अब ये कैसे होगा? It can happen due to a range of different things. For example, in case of Apple products, they keep on pricing the product higher and higher. हर साल उनकी कीमत बढ़ जाती है 20% से. Similarly, Hindustan Unilever, it increases the prices of its product by 10-12%, so on and so forth, right? So one simple strategy is that you increase the prices of your product, right? So जो भी कंपनी आपको दिख रही है, that will fall in that domain. Second is that आप cost cutting कर लो, right? Or the company has using like advanced technology, it's bringing down its distribution cost. For example, a classic case study here will be Asian Paints, that it was able to lower its distribution cost quite a lot, and when it comes to paint business, having power or control over your distribution network is very very critical. That is the moat of the business. अब इसका ये मतलब है कि Asian Paints is a good SIP business? Short answer is no. Asian Paints is not a very good SIP business. I'll explain you why subsequently. Third key point is that the company should be able to maintain its market share or ideally grow it. Now if all these three things happen, then it is a wonderful SIP stock. But मैंने तो आपको framework समझा दिया. Now इनमें से हो सकता है maybe 2 criteria is meeting, 2 criteria is just off the charts कि बहुत ही अच्छे से meet कर रहे हैं, then probably still it might be a great stock to pick. Okay, now let me start using specific examples of which stocks I would personally do SIP in. So the first key stock that I will pick is IDFC First Bank. अब आप में से कई लोग बोलोगे कि अक्षत आप तो HDFC बैंक करते रहते हो, बट वाई आर यू पिकिंग IDFC First Bank and will you not do SIP in HDFC First Bank? So the short answer is no. I will not pick HDFC Bank as an SIP stock. Why? Because criteria number 3 was not meeting on HDFC Bank. Why? आप ऐसे मान के चलो कि HDFC Bank is a big target. Small banks like IDFC First Bank are going to come and they are going to take market share away. So it's not as if कि मैं HDFC Bank में आंख बंद करके भाई नीचे जाए ऊपर जाए sideways जाए I'm going to continue to invest. No, I have already built good enough positions at a good enough price point for HDFC Bank. I am very happy with it. I will continue to hold my position as long as I see them growing at a decent rate, right? So that does not mean कि IDFC First Bank में मान के चलो 20% की growth हो रही है. Now given the size of HDFC Bank, it is unlikely that it will grow at a similar rate to IDFC First Bank. For example, my son is almost 4 now. His height is going to grow at a much faster rate compared to my height. I am already 6 feet. अब मेरी height थोड़ी बढ़ जाएगी इस age में. So that is the simple point I am trying to explain. So therefore, I will personally not do SIP on HDFC Bank. For me, HDFC Bank is more of an opportunity buy कि जब अच्छी opportunity दिख गई, आपने अच्छा बढ़िया portfolio बना लिया उसमें, and you stick by it. And whenever you feel that it is giving very rich valuation, you probably cut your position. So that is how I am looking at HDFC versus IDFC First Bank debate. So now comes the natural question that okay, what makes IDFC First Bank a good candidate for SIPing? So देखो यार, when you are SIPing, you are not worried about the current valuation of that stock. What you are worried about is the growth rate of that stock, whether it will be able to build its market share, whether it will be able to protect its margin. जो मैंने आपको चीज़ें समझाई थी, आप किसी भी प्राइस पे खरीद लो, लेकिन अगर आप उसको अच्छे लंबे टाइम तक SIP कर रहे हो, then the most critical aspect that you need to worry about is the growth rate of the stock. So on that note, let me share 3-4 critical data points. So the first critical point that you need to understand is the fact that the branch growth rate for IDFC First Bank has been really phenomenal. Just to help you understand the history, in 2015 it had only 23 branches. By 2021 it has more than 600 branches. So the rate of growth of branches has been really phenomenal. अब ये यहीं पे रुक जाएंगे? The short answer is no. Why am I saying it? Do you guys know how many branches does HDFC Bank has? It has almost 8,000 branches के आसपास. तो यार आगे पीछे चल के IDFC First Bank also will have at least 2-3,000 branches, right? So I am just using this as a proxy कि यार मान लो डबल हो गई ब्रांचेस, so revenues are also likely to double, so to say. Market cap is also likely to double, so to say. So this doubling of market cap probability is much higher on IDFC First Bank. So this is point number 1, that going forward IDFC First Bank is going to expand on its branches. It is going to take away the market share from HDFC Bank. अब नेचुरल क्वेश्चन आएगा कि यार HDFC बेच दें, सिर्फ IDFC में आ जाए. नहीं भैया, ऐसी गलतियां मत करना, because you are unable to judge the valuation of things. I have been an investor in both the banks and I am holding both the banks. I'm just explaining you the concept of bulk buying. जैसे HDFC में I had bulk bought stuff. In IDFC First Bank, I had bulk bought stuff when it was at a low price. Now I will be doing SIP in IDFC First Bank, but will not be doing any SIP on HDFC. Reason क्या है? Reason बहुत simple है, जो मैंने आपको बताया था framework. Now point number 2, that a few years back, around 2018, IDFC First Bank का merger हुआ था. तो post that, the metrics have improved, the financial output of the bank has improved. जो उसका NIM ratio है, जो उसके बाकी के fundamentals हैं, that has gone up. That is a good point. It has a visionary leader behind it. So the chances of expanding in the market is much higher. The chances that Mr. Vaidyanathan is going to be able to capture some market share from banks like ICICI, Axis, जो established बैंक है HDFC, उनसे कुछ market share तो ले ही लेंगे, right? Again, I did not complete the thought on HDFC. Basically, see, this banking market is growing in India. It's not as if that America की तरह situation हो गई है कि penetration of banking product is complete or everyone is banked, all that stuff. Frequency of transaction of financial products, that is not very high in India. वो सारी चीज़ें improve होंगी. So therefore, even if you are picking mature banks, you are likely to make money. But from an SIP point of view, something like IDFC First Bank is very good still, so to say. अब यहाँ बहुत सारी डिटेल्स डिस्कस कर सकते हैं, बट आई डोंट थिंक दैट देयर विल बी अ पॉइंट. आई विल probably write a very detailed post on member community section on each of these stocks that I'm discussing. So if you're a serious investor in the market, do consider joining the member community. You will be able to build a lot of confidence. Fundamentals आपको समझ में आएंगे. Almost every single day I make a post as soon as some activity happens in the market, या मैं आपको कुछ fundamentally चीज़ें बताता हूँ. You will really enjoy the experience. Try it out for 3-4 months. So okay, with that said, let me speak about the second stock, which is Indigo Paints. Now according to me, this is a very good candidate when it comes to SIP. देखो जो भी मैं चीज़ें डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, be it Indigo Paints, be it IDFC First Bank और बाकी के stocks, these are also stable stocks. मैं बहुत risky stocks नहीं डिस्कस कर रहा हूँ, so please keep that in mind also. I will try to create a separate video on SIPing in small and mid cap stocks. So maybe I'll make a separate video on that. Indigo Paints आपके small cap category में आएगा. This is probably one of the few small caps that I'll be speaking about on this video. But again, you can apply this framework, build your own portfolio in small mid caps also. So anyways, coming back to Indigo Paints. Now Indigo Paints is again a candidate that will take market share away from Asian Paints. So if I have to do SIP, will I pick Asian Paints or Indigo Paints? Very similar story to HDFC Bank and IDFC First Bank. So I will pick in the paint segment, I'll pick something like Indigo Paints for SIPing my money. Now मैं आपको फटाफट थोड़े से facts बता देता हूँ. तो fact number 1 is that the decorative paint market in India is growing at roughly 13-14%, which is higher or much higher than the GDP growth rate of India. Number 2, the company has been able to grow its market share consistently since the time it has IPO'd. So कोई fundamental problem नहीं है कंपनी में. This is a much needed product. So ऐसे कोई गड़बड़बाजी नहीं लग रही है. The management is very clean. All good things are there with the company. Right now there is a little bit of problem going on in the paint market. What is that? It is कि यार Godrej आ रहे हैं, Grasim आ रहा है, वगैरह companies are launching their own paint business, this that. So the market share from existing paint players is going to be taken away by these new entrants. अब इस डिबेट में what people stop thinking about is कि यार why are new people coming in? Because there is money to be made in this market. Therefore they are coming in. ऐसे फालतू फंड का बिजनेस थोड़ी खोल लेंगे कि जिसमें ग्रोथ ही नहीं हो रही है. And big corporate players are coming. They see potential, therefore they are coming. So this is point 1 कि paint industry in itself is not bad at all. Number 2, when it comes to Indigo Paints, it is a very small player right now. With time it will grow. So therefore the likelihood is that it will eat into Asian Paints market share. That's point 2 जो आपको ध्यान में रखनी है बात. So yes, there is enough space for everyone. That is a central point that I'm trying to tell you, because overall paint industry में तो growth है ही. And when it comes to Indigo Paints, because it is starting from a very small base, over time it is going to eat into other people's market share also. नई कंपनियां आने दो, ऐसा कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Related point here is that when new companies are coming in, it will take them time to build their distribution network. The extent to which we feel that it is very easy to start a paint business, it is not. कि भाई आपने एक बाल्टी ली, उसमें रंग घोला and मिला के बेचने लगे. No, that is not how it is happen. Now when it comes to paint industry, there are 3 central points that you need to understand. The first is the distribution network. As I have been saying, many of the new entrants have it. Okay, so this is not a problem. Second is that you need to provide something called as tinting machine, right, which are very expensive machines in order to mix the paint. So there is very high capex requirement in the paint business, right? Now not everyone can make that scale of investment right away, right from day one कि फलाना टीम का new corporate has come and उसने हजारों tinting machines लगा दी. No, that is not going to happen right from day one. This process in itself will take like 2 years or something, right? So this is going to be a slow move, so to say. Now the third point is that there need to be some kind of a go-to product when it comes to paint business. इसमें भी अलग अलग टाइप की कैटेगरीज क्रिएट करी जाती हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल व्हेन इट कम्स टू एशियन पेंट, जो उसका वाटर प्रूफिंग माना जाता है, दैट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी इट्स गो टू प्रोडक्ट और वन ऑफ दी मेनी गो टू प्रोडक्ट्स दैट इट हैज. सो इट हैज़ बीन एबल टू बिल्ड इट्स ब्रांड. जैसे गोवा में फॉर एग्जाम्पल बहुत तेज़ मूसलाधार बारिश होती है, राइट, एंड आपने कोई एवरेज सा पेंट लगा दिया तो हो सकता है इट विल नॉट लास्ट, राइट, और इट विल नॉट सपोर्ट. सो ऑन दैट नोट दी कस्टमर्स ट्राई टू बाय एशियन पेंट. सो इस तरीके की गो टू प्रोडक्ट्स बनते हैं. सिमिलरली इंडिगो पेंट्स ने भी अपना एक मार्केट शेयर बना लिया है and it is getting approximately 20% from its leading go-to product. I'm unable to recollect the name of that. I will put it in the description box somewhere. But I hope that you got the story about Indigo Paints. अब मैं एक दो US stocks के बारे में बात कर लेता हूँ. So one of the best SIPable US stock would be something like Meta. Now I had already made 150% odd gains on Meta. अब आपका नेचुरल सवाल आएगा कि यार Meta तो इतनी बड़ी कंपनी है, how will it double, triple from this point? ऐसा कैसा हो जाएगा? So see guys, basically in tech there is something called as foundational tech. Now let's go back to the year 2000. The foundational tech during that time was इंटरनेट, राइट, दैट वाज द फाउंडेशनल टेक जिसके ऊपर सब कुछ बन रहा था. सिमिलरली क्रिप्टो के ऊपर बहुत सारी चीज़ें बन रही हैं, बिटकॉइन वगैरह वगैरह के ऊपर. सिमिलरली आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, मशीन लर्निंग पे बहुत सारी चीज़ें बन रही हैं इन 2024. सो राइट नाउ इफ यू हैव टू पिन पॉइंट अ टेक or foundational tech in 2024, it will be AI, artificial intelligence. And if Facebook/Meta has been at this game burning money like crazy for the last more than a decade. So just to give you a little bit of background here, so Meta runs something called as Reality Labs. This is where it is burning a ton of money in terms of research, and if it is able to win the AI race, or at least able to carve out a massive niche, it will be like a new avatar of Facebook. Please understand two parts, that Facebook or Meta as a company has two advantages. One is distribution and the second is foundational tech. So जो आपकी augmented reality, virtual reality, AI, ML, इन सब में बहुत काम चल रहा है via Reality Labs. Now the competitive advantage for Meta is its distribution. Almost 40% population on earth uses some kind of Facebook product on every single day basis. Having distribution these days is a massive advantage. Just to talk through my own experience, I for example run stock market course, real estate course. आपने मेरा एक ad नहीं देखा होगा. जो ad आप देखते हो, those are fake ads. Those are not run by me. I do not do all that stuff. I do not do paid promotion. Everything is organically built through my own distribution. On that note, I am starting a new batch of stock markets. In case you guys are interested, please check. Now, after this very smooth organic plug, let me complete the story of Meta. See, the story of Meta is very simple, that hey, if you own distribution and if you own tech, for example, if you again go through my own example, एक बार मैं और integrate कर देता हूँ कि भाई आप जाके check करो, right? If my stock market course is good or not, right? You can go and check the testimonials वगैरह वगैरह. Now, the foundational stuff that I've built is very good. People like it, people enjoy it, people talk about it. That is very, very good. Plus I have the distribution. It creates a killer business from that perspective. Why? क्योंकि यहाँ पे Meta को almost zero cost पे customer acquire कर रही है वो, right? And it will continue to do that in the next gen tech business, which is the AI business. Now you don't need to just simply take my word on it. Look at how much money is being spent on Reality Labs in terms of refining the product. So for example, in the recent quarter, Meta announced a revenue of 40 billion and a loss of 4.6 billion dollars in Reality Labs. अभी तो उनके खर्चे हो रहे हैं, they are losing money on Reality Labs क्योंकि अभी AI has not really matured. A lot of burning of money is happening and Meta has the cash to do it. So this is one. The Facebook/Meta is building the entire ecosystem. It is going to own the hardware. It is going to own the software. It is going to own the platform. So far, the problem that Facebook/Meta has faced is that the platform is owned by iOS, which is Apple. वो डिसाइड करते हैं कि किसको प्ले स्टोर पे रखना है, किसको नहीं रखना है. एंड्रॉइड इज ओन्ड बाय गूगल एंड iOS इज ओन्ड बाय एप्पल. सो दे आर कंट्रोलिंग द प्लेटफॉर्म एंड देयरफॉर दे आर एबल टू मेक अ लॉट ऑफ एडवर्टीजमेंट रेवेन्यू. बट द नेक्स्ट जेन जो आपका AI आ रहा है उसमें who will own the platform? So Meta is actually playing the game there. It is building Oculus, which is the hardware. Similarly, they are developing software. Similarly, they have distribution. So Meta looks like a very clear candidate right now, which might actually win the AI race or might benefit the most. On top of that, look at the leadership. Mark Zuckerberg is less than 40 years old right now. Very clear leadership line in Meta, so to say, कि यार अगले 20-25 साल he'll continue to work hard. So don't discount the leadership abilities and understanding of tech of Mark Zuckerberg. So if you're doing SIP on something like Meta, तो आज के प्राइस के बारे में मत सोचो. By understanding all these basic points, you will be able to take a much more simpler, much more sensible bet on Meta. Okay, so the next stock that I will speak about, which is very much SIPable, is Amazon. अब आप बोलोगे Apple क्यों नहीं बोल रहे? Yeah, see, Apple में the problem is that they are unable to launch new products or new entire segments altogether. For example, when it comes to Amazon, the entire segment is AWS. It is very, very different from something like e-commerce arm of Amazon. वेरी डिफरेंट लाइन ऑफ प्रोडक्ट इट सेल्फ. अब यार एप्पल क्या करता है कि एप्पल ने चलो आईफोन 14 आया है, फिर 15 निकाल देगा, फिर 16 निकाल देगा. ओके, यू कैन प्ले लाइक दिस प्रोडक्ट लाइन एक्सटेंशन गेम अप टू अ पॉइंट, बट उसके बाद क्या, राइट? आई मीन इफ यू हैव टू लिटरली मूव न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज, क्रिएट न्यू इंडस्ट्रीज, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी अ प्रॉब्लम फॉर एप्पल, एंड देयरफॉर आई एम नॉट SIPing anything on Apple. I am SIPing on Amazon. Now, just to help you understand the growth rate of different verticals of Amazon, this is something that you will find very impressive. Just for example, if you take a look at advertising services का growth rate, right? So you will see 52%, 55%, 21%, 24%. तो यार तो इनकी 38% CAGR say it is growing its advertisement revenue. It's a new industry in which it is entered, so to say. Okay, even one of the slowest. When it comes to physical stores, this is not where their focus is. This is growing slower than the economy. But rest of the businesses are still growing at 20, 30, 40, 50%. It's absolute crazy. जैसे ऑनलाइन स्टोर्स हैं, राइट? दिस वॉज दी, वन कुड से, इज द प्राइमरी ब्रेड एंड बटर ऑफ अमेजॉन. उनको दिख रहा है कि यहाँ पे ग्रोथ स्लो डाउन हो रही है, एंड दे हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सप्लोर्ड अदर इंडस्ट्रीज where they are growing at more than 20% CAGR. 20% CAGR is roughly the growth rate of a mid-cap company. So ये एक तरीके से हुआ क्या है कि when it comes to Amazon, they have chunked out their company into a bunch of small and mid-cap companies, and वो सबको grow करा रहे हैं 20-30% से. So that is how the entire unit will also double after a few years. Okay, so the next business that I will talk about is DMart, and again I feel that this is a very good SIP oriented stock. Again, please don't go by the current PE and all that stuff. SIP का मतलब होता है कि यार आपने 2-3 साल तक, 4 साल तक लगा के छोड़ दिया. Every month you are investing. Some months you will get it at high price, some months you will get it at low price, but a good SIP stock. Why? 2-3 reasons. Number one reason is that DMart is a very, very different type of a business, and it is not competing with almost any other thing. For example, DMart owns its own stores. It is into physical distribution. Online पे इतना ध्यान नहीं है उनका. Whom are they competing against? Are they competing against Instamart? Are they competing against Blinkit? Are they competing against delivery? No. ये नए आपस में लड़ मर रहे हैं, राइट? आई मीन कि ब्लिंकेट, इंस्टामार्ट, दिस दैट, हम ऑनलाइन डिलीवर करेंगे, 10 मिनट डिलीवरी करेंगे, दिस दैट. नो, डीमार्ट का है what type of model? Walmart model. Okay, so they are literally replicating it. Just to help you understand, and ये थोड़ा सा पुराना डेटा है, मैं आपको नया भी दिखाऊंगा. यहाँ पे you can see that the concentration of DMart stores is mostly here, right? They are now expanding quite aggressively here. वो धीरे धीरे करके जब भी उनको opportunity मिलेगी, they will do it. What type of stores they own? They own highly profitable stores. In its history so far, and I was reading it a while back, जहाँ पे कहीं मेंशन था कि इन इट्स 18 ईयर ऑफ हिस्ट्री, तो मैं पेपर पढ़ रहा था, वो पुराना था. सो ऑन दैट 18 ईयर ऑफ हिस्ट्री इट हैज़ नॉट क्लोज डाउन इवन वन सिंगल स्टोर एवर, राइट? ऑन टॉप ऑफ दैट, डीमार्ट ओन्स एंड कंट्रोल्स इट्स ओन स्टोर्स. ऐसा नहीं कि रेंट बढ़ गई तो यार छोड़ के जाना पड़ रहा है एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. नो, सो दे ओन एंड ऑपरेट मेजॉरिटी ऑफ देयर स्टोर्स. सो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दे विल स्टे प्रॉफिटेबल, दे विल बी अ कैश काउ, दे विल हैव अ लॉट ऑफ कैश टू इन्वेस्ट whenever investing makes sense for them. Please understand this critical point, which brings me to a related story for DMart. In 2020, when the interest rate went down, DMart ended up borrowing a lot of money from the market. Why? Because आपको cheap debt मिल रही थी, सस्ते दरों पे मिल रही थी. They picked up that money and went and purchased a ton of real estate जहाँ पे वो stores उन्होंने बढ़ा दिए. So DMart grew really fast, right? So that was the point. Now debt is very expensive. They are not doing very fast expansion. So it is a very sensible player. They have their strategy figured out. अब आप बोलोगे कि यार ऐसी कंपनियों में तो ग्रोथ होती नहीं है. होती है. Why? Because again, go and study the rate at which Walmart has grown. So Walmart मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ. In the last 5 years, it has grown by 86-87%. Okay, यहाँ पे आप देख लो तो from 2015 it used to be 19, almost 3x 4x हो गया है. So ठीक ठाक हो जाती है growth. And I'm talking Walmart, which is an extremely mature player. यूएस में तो बेसिकली इट्स स्पीकिंग, देयर पॉपुलेशन इज स्पीकिंग, कंजम्पशन ऑलरेडी बिल्कुल भरा पड़ा है, 4 क्रेडिट कार्ड लगा के बैठे हैं लोग. इंडिया में तो कंजम्पशन इज पिकिंग अप, डिस्क्रेशनरी इनकम इज पिकिंग अप, all that stuff. They are going to consume better, etc, etc. So many people will be brought out of poverty. What type of product are they going to buy first? ये खाने पीने की चीज़ें हैं, बेसिक रोज़मर्रा की ज़रूरतें at inexpensive price is what they are going to buy. So from that angle, DMart is a very solid stock. Again, do not look at the current valuation. I'm not talking about good stocks as per today. I am speaking about कि आपको बिना बुद्धि लगाए SIP करनी है. Continue to do it. Look at your portfolio after 5-6 years. So that is the spirit with which I have tried to teach. Unfortunately now I have run out of time, so I'll have to close the video here. 4-5 stocks were left, so I'll try to make a Hindi video on it, or I will give you more detailed commentary on my member community tomorrow, or starting tomorrow I will block 2-3 days and I will start discussing additional stocks which are SIP-able. So you get a hold of 10-15 such stocks, you dedicate a portion of your money, chances are that it will grow at a much faster pace than the economy, and hopefully you will be able to beat Nifty 50 in a very easy manner without taking too much risk. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, press the like button and I'll see you soon.